Kieran, great to see you, pal. You said on Sunday, let's forget the Arsenal result, but can you use the Arsenal result as motivation going forward?
Yeah, I think you can use it in multiple ways, really. But for us players, me certainly, it's one of those where we can't dwell on the result. It is what it is. But we did perform well in that game, but unfortunately, two decisive moments cost us. And now we've just got to focus on Leeds because we know it's the games are running out towards the end of the season now, and there's 4 big games, and we start with Leeds now.
What can you learn from Sunday going into these final 4 games?
I think being more ruthless, like we have been previous games in front of goal.
Yeah.
I think we had chances there where we hit the woodwork a couple of times, and it's just about in them moments against those sort of teams you need to be clinical, and we wasn't against Arsenal. So now we've had time to reflect, to work hard on the training pitch and try and put things right against Leeds.
Played against Manchester City twice, Arsenal twice. Now, for you, how close are Newcastle now to those kind of top 2 standards that are being set?
Yeah, you look at past few years, it's been Liverpool, City, and Arsenal have done very well this season. So yeah. I think you only need to look back to last January where the hurdles that we've come across, the strides that we've taken in a short period of time. We've competed. That's what we wanted to say at the start of the season. We want to compete with the top teams, and I think we've done that.
I'm not going to ask you about the T word that's cropped up once again, this time-wasting word, because it just seems to have absolutely erupted in terms of debate. What I am going to ask you is, how surprised are you that this debate has erupted recently over the time-wasting, not just for Newcastle, but for other clubs as well? And does it detract away from the football almost?
Yeah, I think it is. I think people are making it into a big issue when it certainly isn't. I think if you look at say Arsenal the other day against us, I think I read something like it was 18 minutes that they took out of the game. Yeah. But for me personally, as a player, you need to manage games, and Arsenal did that very well. You got to give them credit because they come to a tough place at St James's Park and they got the win. So in moments in games, you need to kill the game if there were teams on top or vice versa, whatever it may be. So yeah, I think people are taking it a bit too far, and Arsenal was a good example of them doing it well at the weekend. So I certainly don't have any. I don't get angry about it. It's about managing the game, and Arsenal did that.
Let's move on from Arsenal before we start talking about top 4 hopes, Champions League, etc. Just how exciting is it for you as a person rather than a player to be around Newcastle United at the moment, around the club, around the city, given everything that's happening?
Yeah, it's amazing, to be honest. From a day-to-day basis when I'm out with my children or taking them to school, whatever it may be, you just see from the fans' faces really how proud they are of the team, the staff, the club, the way we're moving forward. It's amazing, but as a player it's even more special because you're amongst it, you're representing Newcastle, and to see the position that we're in, I think we've earned the right to be in this position that we're in, so long may that continue.
So in your experience, have you kind of witnessed a club and a city as well, a location as united as this one is right now? Yeah,
actually, past few years have gone through a difficult moment in Newcastle, and with the new ownership, with the new manager, with players, of course it helps. But you see the positivity where the supporters see the lads giving everything, and that's what the fans demand. The lads giving everything, which we are. And that unites us together. We're on the same path and we're on the same journey, so we know the goal that we want to achieve, and that starts on Saturday.
On that basis, how high amongst the decisions made in your career does the decision to join Newcastle rank, given everything that's happening right now?
Yeah, like I've said plenty of times throughout many interviews, I hold no regrets. Yeah. I never look back. I always believe in every decision that I make, and this was certainly a good decision that I made. So obviously there was risks when I first signed, but I didn't look at that. I just wanted to look forward, be positive, and we're here now, 3rd in the table.
And plenty of your experiences around Champions League as well. You've experienced it right up to the very, very highest level. In that sense, and in your experience, do Newcastle as a club and as a city just fit the Champions League and the size of that competition? Yeah,
definitely. I think it's been a long time since Newcastle have been in the Champions League. But you look the way that we've progressed as a club, as a team, I think we've earned the right to be in the position that we're in. And like I said, 4 big games left, so hopefully we can get in the Champions League starting Saturday.
You talked recently about these kind of post-match photos after wins serving as memories for the players. How big a motivation are making memories in the Champions League with Newcastle?
Yeah, it'd be massive, and I go back to when we do take photos, it's not, again, nothing being too cocky or anything. It's memories, you know. We've done well this season, and you know, if we do reach the goal that we want to achieve, then the lads can look back on the journey that we've been on. So it's a good thing in my view to celebrate it as one, and always remember the good times that you have, and these photos remind you of that.
We've seen like the League Cup final, obviously, you know, this chase for the top four as well. Realistically, football's a business. Players may move on this summer. How important is it that this squad of players, given everything that they've done, that they've achieved something tangible at the end of this season in the shape of a top four place?
Yeah, this is football. You know, football can be a cruel game, ruthless game at times. You know, players come and go, managers come and go, but all I can say is every person in that dressing room deserves huge credit, starting from the manager down. Yeah. And you know, we've all done this together. It's not just the 11 that are playing. The subs have made a huge impact this season. Yeah. I think it's something like 16 goals are contributed. So we're a team. That's the most important thing, and everybody's valued in that dressing room.
We've seen some mad scenes in Europe over the last 48 hours at the Bernabeu, obviously at the San Siro as well, in the Milan derby. What do you think these Newcastle United fans would be like in Europe?
Yeah, I think it'd be crazy, to be honest with you, and you know, just trying to imagine the Champions League anthem again at St James's Park. Yeah, it'd be amazing. You know, I've been lucky enough to play in it for many years, and to have that taste and be on the cusp of it again, it's something that I'm going to work extremely hard for, and I know the lads will as well.
Just on the fans, I had a mate of mine who went to St James for the first time against Arsenal on Sunday, and he turned around and he was like, Is it like this every single week? You say yes, because of the fans, because of war flags, etc. How big a difference do war flags in particular make to the players at St James's Park in terms of performance and in terms of experience as well?
Yeah, I think it's amazing, and I've had it when I was in Spain as well, where you know, the big banners when you walk out, big Champions League games and stuff, and you know, you see the passion from the fans when you see the flags of, if it's players or the manager or whatever it may be, messages to the players to show their support. And when you walk out, you realise that you feed off it. Yeah. And they play a huge part of our supporters, as every supporter does, but certainly ours. The way they've shown when we've needed them in those moments this season, they've certainly been there. So they deserve huge credit, and they're doing an amazing job. The war flags, and you know, all those players can say is keep it going. You know, 2 home games left of the season, and try and make it as special as you can.